Welcome to Movie News, Episode 2.
And now we're starting with our question of the day. Today's question: when was the last time you cried during a movie, and what was it specifically that got you?
The last time that I remember crying during a movie was a while ago, several years ago. I was watching Despicable Me 2 with my family in the car.
It was a car
on the
movie
way
too?
to my I was in the, and the end scene where Gru gets married just really touched me, and I started
where they're singing the YMCA.
well before they get to the YMCA part, and I teared up. I definitely teared up, and I don't know whether I've cried at a movie since then. Like I genuinely can't think of a movie that I've cried in, and I've watched some horrific, heartbreaking movies, and I'm just there like a stone, you know.
Do you think that you have that capability anymore?
I think in the right set of circumstances,
Okay.
yes.
That is odd to me.
It's a
How
weird
old
one.
were you?
15.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wasn't young.
So you're not young. So a 15-year-old
Must have been really
male,
just in my feels about like the idea of getting married. I don't know.
and your whole family was present.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wasn't like bawling my eyes out, so they
You were
maybe
on like
didn't
the
notice.
highway or
Yeah, on the highway,
okay,
going to my grandparents' house.
and it was the DVD Despicable Me
DVD
2.
from the library.
Okay, and the
Yeah.
hanging. It was it
And
was this was it on
Honda
the ceiling?
Odyssey.
Okay, so it's on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a tiny screen. They're singing the YMCA. But marriage is just so beautiful to you. It can come through a moment like that where you're in a minivan, your family's present. They're singing the YMCA, but you tear up because marriage is that potent.
Yep.
Aw, that's good.
I know, it's a very pure moment in my life.
I think for me, it would be, well, one, to be honest, never. That's just the truth. I don't think I've cried at a
believe that.
film.
Yeah.
I think what almost got me recently was Kill Bill Volume 1. I wasn't crying because of the violence. I was crying because of the beauty of the violence.
It was because of how it was so good that it like almost brought you to tears.
I forgot about how good it was. Maybe I just have come to love it more in my, adult years.
You know, when I first started dating Emma, like in the first couple months,
I was there.
I watched Kill Bill for the first time, and I was so mesmerized by it. I remember Emma and I went on a walk, and for 30 minutes, I explained to her the plot of Kill Bill, and she still married me
Wow.
after that.
She must love you.
So
And that's amazing because you are exactly the type of person that Quentin Tarantino wants to see his movies. Is someone who would take a girl on a walk and explain his movie for 30 minutes.
poor Emma. Yeah, but also good. You know, that's why I love her.
And that's why I love movies. So we are here to talk about Weapons, the new 2025 film by Zach Kreger, who is, the former director of Barbarian, which we reviewed back in 2022. We did not have great takes on that film. Maybe post, everything that's happened in the last 3 years, we could go back and watch that film and be like, oh, there's some merit to this film. But I'm not going to do what Roger Ebert does all the time and change my review. So I'm going to stick with what I said on Barbarian. I didn't love it, but Weapons is his second big film. He wrote the script for this. There's a big bidding war. Jordan Peele tried to get this film. He tried to get the script. Couldn't get it. So Zach ended up directing it himself. And Ben, what are the thoughts about this film? Initial big picture thoughts.
I love that this is the direction that film is going in. I don't know. There was something so just I was so excited to be in the theater. Isn't that a great feeling?
Were you on the edge of your seat?
I wasn't on, well, at the end, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's so weird. It was such a weird movie. So many strange things that happened, but it was also like kind of grounded.
Yes.
So like there's characters that you like really like would be like, oh, I feel bad for this person, or I see how they made these. Maybe you're like they made mistakes, but you like are empathetic that you're like, well, they're human. They make mistakes.
Goonies always make mistakes.
Yeah. And including, and I made the comment to Zach. I was texting him a little bit while I was watching the movie because he had already seen it.
To Zach Kreger?
No, Zach
to me?
Wald.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well,
Gotcha.
he was the second person I was texting.
Oh, good.
Make better movie. No, I'm just kidding. But I had mentioned that the cop in this movie really reminds me of John C. Reilly in Magnolia.
Yeah, and that was potent to me. That's a really good.
And that's the kind of the cool thing is when you see like influences of who knows whether that actually influenced him or another cop got influenced by Magnolia, and then that cop was the one that influenced Weapons. But
I was
it's a great
waiting
movie.
until now to tell you, Ben, but one of his biggest influences was Magnolia.
On this movie.
Yes.
Oh,
so because it's told
Wow.
from different points of view.
I'm so smart.
You're smart, Ben. You're very smart. So what Sean Fennessy had said is this film is a marriage between Hereditary and Magnolia.
Which I haven't seen Hereditary, so I guess I need to watch.
It takes the eeriness and kind of grounded fear of the unknown-esqueness.
Yeah, and there's kind of like a witchcraft element to it as well.
And then an unsettling looking characters, with some body horror as well. Straight into a story told from a bunch of different characters' perspectives. And it's kind of, in my opinion, a horror film masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think it's very good.
I gave this film 3 stars, maybe 3.5 or 3. It's not Magnolia. It's not Hereditary. Magnolia is a 5-star film for me. Magnolia is one of PTA's best films ever. But this film, I'm just very proud of you, Ben, for 1, seeing that connection. And 2, I didn't notice that the cop specifically, the character kind of mirrors where it's like this friendly, the guy kind of wants to be your friend type of cop. But then, he kind of does some wrong things.
He's also super erratic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
has
some relationship with a pedestrian type of thing. So, what was the most surprising part about this film? Tressel said that this film's trailers didn't really have much to say about it. I went into this film without even watching any trailers.
I didn't watch anything. I barely knew anything about
Was that
this
good?
movie. Yes.
Okay.
Would it have taken away if I knew a little bit about the premise? Not necessarily. I had vaguely seen some posters. I knew there was kids involved.
There's kids in the movie.
There's kids in the movie. That was pretty much all, and it was called Weapons. That's basically all I knew.
So yeah.
So I didn't know Josh Brolin was going to be in it. I didn't know a lot of this stuff.
To keep the segment a little bit shorter, getting straight to the heart of the film, there's a scene where Josh Brolin's character, he plays a dad, and his daughter is lost, right? Or son, sorry. And I'm thinking of Prisoners. His son is lost, and he's looking for his son. And 17 kids from this class are missing. And was it 17? I believe it is. And they're all missing. And one of Julia Garner's character is looking for. She's like the teacher, and everybody kind of blames her for all these kids going missing, except for one kid in the class is not missing. And now Josh Brolin's character, playing the dad, who's kind of like a go-getter, is looking for and questioning and kind of works with Julia Garner's character to try to figure out what's going on. And the heart of the film, then, he looks at the house where the children are all being kept in the basement. And Zach Cregger has a basement fetish, I think, because he's got 2 really good basement scenes in both Barbarian and Weapons. And a big gun appears in the sky in this vision. And he gets to go to his son in the house. And this is like a vision that he's having. It's a dream. And he talks to his son and kind of expresses grief that he has, like all the things he wishes he could say back then that he's not able to say now that his son's missing. That scene stuck out to me beyond any other moment in the film because everything else in the film is pretty straightforward, right? There's a witch casts a spell on these kids to keep them in the basement and then can kind of do these spells to make people go crazy, right?
And she needs this to stay alive longer, I think is the
I think that's
premise.
like she steals their youth, maybe. And so what do you think that scene means? Just getting straight to the heart of the film.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that idea that you don't always express the things that you're feeling. Or and a lot of times maybe with the father-son relationship especially, and I think it can go both ways as kids get older. Mm-hmm. You don't always remember to be overly emotive with your dad, or your dad is not overly emotive with you. It doesn't mean that you're not both feeling those things, but it's not always the natural thing. But when it's taken away from you, then you're like, man, what was holding me back from expressing how making sure that person knew?
Yes. I think there is some almost grief, I want to say what I can't say right now.
Right.
And that's a tough thing to go with. Stay tuned for Zach Cregger's career. He is going to have some upcoming big things going on. He is going to be maybe making a sequel to this film one day. He says he has some ideas about it. And he will be directing a future, is it not a Final Destination film?
Resident Evil?
Resident Evil,
yeah.
Which is interesting. that he's going straight into the commercial sector right after making 2 original films. So we'll see how that goes for him. Best horror movie in the last few years, right?
I can't think of one better.
Yeah, I think it is. So that's settled. It made $211 million worldwide so far, only on a less than $40 million budget, similar to the Prestige's budget, making twice as much as the Prestige. Good for him on his second movie, already beating Christopher Nolan. The movie Honey Don't ? What do we think about this film ?
Well, this is the second movie, and it's Ethan Coen.
This is Ethan's.
Ethan Coen's. He's doing a trilogy of movies. The first one was called. What was the first one called? See, this is the problem.
Something girl. I don't know.
Driveway Dolls. Driveway Dolls. Which also didn't perform all that well. But he's committed to doing 3 of these, and they all have Margaret Qualley in them. Okay. Right? She's kind of. I mean, there's these actors who are just kind of like in everything these days, right?
Yep.
Pedro Pascal, Margaret
Powell,
Qualley, Glenn
Sydney
Powell,
Sweeney.
Yep.
I'm just thinking of the rom-com they had. Anybody But You or whatever. It's called.
But Margaret Qualley is firmly in that, so she'll kind of just be in a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Over the next couple of years, which is fine. But something about the Coen brothers being separated from each other doesn't seem to be working out, and I don't know whether it's just what the directions they're picking. Because Joel did The Tragedy of Macbeth, which maybe got okay reviews, but it didn't like do anything crazy. But rumored, supposedly after all of this is done, they're supposed to be making a horror movie together again. So they're supposed to be, but we have no timeline on that. That's just kind of like a rumor. So I probably won't watch Honey Don't, because at least definitely not in theaters, because it just won't. There's so many other things that would probably be a better, just like better options of things to watch. But I don't know why like this isn't working out. I think maybe he's trying to do a little bit of the Tarantino thing where he's like recycling like old like classic films, but maybe he just doesn't have the style down. I don't know.
Maybe our response to Honey Don't is Honey Don't. It hasn't done bad so far. You and a lot of other people will not be seeing it in theaters. It had a $20 million budget and has made $4 million in the box office to supplement that. So $16 million in the hole, unfortunately. Box office oracles, we have some box office surprises. There is a big film that has come out this year. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ben?
Probably not, no.
Tressel, do you?
Neja 2?
I think so. Neja 2 is this animation. It's a little witch, right? Little witch girl. Maybe find a confirmation on that. I haven't seen it. Worldwide, this film has made just under $2 billion. By the way, the last film to get to that point was Avengers Endgame, if that puts into perspective. This 3D animated little girl witchcraft film, I don't know. It's maybe not witchcraft. It's
a Chinese animated fantasy adventure comedy film.
Sure. China had this potential to make films. We need to have a Chinawood, kind of like Bollywood and Hollywood, but it's Chinawood, Chollywood. And where China can create a film and enforce everybody to see it, right? And that makes it like a $1 billion film automatically. So not much to say on that besides what is this film? What is going on? Good for them. There was another film that I wanted to talk about that's actually not in the top box office surprises. It is a film, K-Pop Demon Hunters on Netflix.
Oh, this one's very popular.
Because of the music, and it automatically became, within a few weeks, the number one film to ever be watched on Netflix. And it's made, Netflix a ton of money. So I think this is an interesting one. We will see what happens when Netflix has already approved a sequel for this. Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion, Ben. What do you think this has to say about live action remakes?
I think they're here to stay, is what that says.
Is that a good or bad thing, or both?
It's hard to say. I think it could be good in the sense that it keeps people going to the movies, but not necessarily great in the sense that really creative new projects will be rewarded. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Between that and How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, which made $628 million, that seems to be a mainstay in the culture right now. Moving forward, I bet you they do remakes with slight twists on the original material. Lilo and Stitch, even though it made over $1 billion, was critically kind of reviled for its ending and changing of the villain. And How to Train Your Dragon was pretty pure to the script, which I appreciated. So, as a How to Train Your Dragon fan, I think it's pretty good. Live action remake, you could include the Minecraft movie in there, which made just under $1 billion. Also with some commercial success with toys and the Minecraft meal and everything. Check out my Minecraft review of that in the YouTube Shorts and Last Resort Network. It's a 6-second clip, but still. And then I still have 2 nether sauces in my room unopened that I will be saving if the Szechuan sauce scandal comes about again in the Minecraft form.
Right.
So, Jurassic World Rebirth, a dinosaur movie that made about $850 million. That's
crazy.
We talked about that dinosaur.
Well, you're dominant in that genre.
Yes. Interesting enough, Marvel has underperformed in their last few films, even though we have talked about in the last movie news how good the films have been. Captain America: Brave New World made $415 million. Thunderbolt's making less than what it costed, $382 million. So, do you think this means that people have either superhero fatigue, or do you think it just means that it's going to take a little bit for Marvel to kind of get their reputation back?
They might have Marvel fatigue more than they have superhero fatigue. I mean, Superman did a decent with $600 million, right?
Yeah.
So
and Fantastic Four made $491 so far.
Yeah, and I mean that's 3 movies they made. Yeah, I think it's just going to take them a while to build back up the hype. Like I think you got to lower the standard a little bit.
Spider-Man will be a $2 billion movie in my opinion, and then I think that the Avengers will.
Avengers definitely
movies.
Will be $2 billion. I think.
Spider-Man: No Way Home made $1.8 billion or 1.5.
But they kind of got to weather these so that they can prep for building up the hype for their big ones.
Yes, but there's only one movie between now and the Avengers, and that's Spider-Man. So I think the next movies are slated to be good. We'll see how that goes. With only one U.S. film breaking $1 billion this year. I guess 2. Well, I guess the China one is Neja 2. So Lilo and Stitch. Why is Lilo and Stitch the highest grossing U.S. film of the year? That's a good question.
How did it do in
unanswered.
How did it do in the global box office?
I am not sure. Actually.
So that would be my first question. I mean, I don't know whether it really matters. I mean, Minecraft movie obviously was always going to do pretty good because everyone could take their kids to that.
That was an automatic win.
So that's maybe with Lilo and Stitch is like the movie that most like. When did that come out? Like
I think
the original one, like
the original Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, like
early 2000s.
So that's what I mean. Those people are maybe this is a little but like those people who watched it when they were a kid are having kids.
Yeah.
So
and
I
again,
think
all the totals I gave are more global box office, I believe, but there isn't that much overseas investment as there was in U.S. films before, because I know that China has kind of laid off of the U.S. films. Barbie had a pretty controversial scene where it was pro-China and including Taiwan and China in the One China movement in a background map. It wasn't even that big of a scene, but it upset a lot of different people in and outside of China. So China, due to political issues and also geopolitical issues, is kind of backed out of the U.S. market in many ways, which also I think shows the decline in the Marvel movies as well, because you had a lot of that coming from international markets. Do you think that future solo films with high budgets will have to be tempered slightly because of this lack of international investment in Hollywood?
Future
films, solo films, original films.
I don't know that those films are necessarily relying on.
What about a film like Oppenheimer that made close to $1 billion and is an original biopic?
That one's so unique. I think it's a little hard to compare it to anything else.
Well, it's hard for me to think of a film that fits in the category that
The
I just
Odyssey.
described. The Odyssey could be another one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess time will tell.
Dude, does the China market like director Artur Thuri films?
Do you think the China market was really watching Oppenheimer? That would be my.
I bet you the Japan market was, unfortunately, because of historical events.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that those films are ever gonna. They got to figure out a business model where they're not relying too heavily on the international markets. I think because I think movies like F1 and Jurassic World, like those, like are gonna have much more broad appeal to international markets. So those are the kind of movies that will get huge budgets. But then the question becomes: do you really actually need this ginormous of budget for like a really good like solo independent, like, you know what I mean? Like your budget doesn't have to be $400 million to make
no
an interesting film.
No, not at all.
It actually doesn't help make your film interesting at all. It just helps you have budget for the insane like graphics of these movies.
Yeah, you are exactly right. Are 2025 box office signs about superhero fatigue or something else? I don't know if we addressed that part. I don't think it is. I think that because there are so many superhero films, maybe there's some like we are dispersing kind of attentions to different demographics of people based on the superhero films. But what I've noticed lately is that Fantastic Four and Superman, and even Thunderbolts a little bit, are superhero movies where they're kind of digging into characters past their origin stories into a kind of realm where things are already pre-established, which is a little bit more enjoyable and less of an investment for a viewer. So I think that because the nature of superhero films is changing, that the investment in superhero films will stagnate up and down, kind of like a volatile stock moving forward. Just because I think the whole superhero genre is changing as a whole. So it's hard to say, in my opinion, if it's superhero fatigue. Do you agree with Martin Scorsese?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be somewhat related to superhero fatigue. I can't answer why like Aquaman made $1 billion.
That's a good question.
It's a really good question. Did Aquaman come out before COVID? So COVID also changed the trajectory of how people view. So maybe we're also like just now getting back to the people are like getting back into going to movie theaters. And I don't know how to measure like how many people are going to like watch Thunderbolts now that it's on Disney Plus, and how do you measure the amount of money that is generating for Disney that they have it on?
Well, they keep that under wraps because if investors see poor performance on those numbers, then it doesn't look good.
But you have to imagine the numbers are all right. But how is it getting more people to subscribe, I guess is the question. Like, is having Thunderbolts on...
Yeah, Disney Plus...
Because you got to think there's only a certain amount of people you're going to be able to get to subscribe, and then it's kind of like you've hit your max.
What I've learned in the stock business is that Disney has actually made a bunch of acquirements. They've acquired a bunch of different properties, recently even.
And they love doing that.
And they're propelling ESPN, specifically ESPN with NFL, because NFL is not ESPN, right?
No, so but they have the rights to certain games.
But I think they're going to expand that here soon. Disney recently had a lot of deals that went on, and ESPN is going to be one of their main things. Hulu is really going to assimilate under the Disney Plus logo, and Disney Plus will be bundled. And they're really going to try to make people do this $20 a month bundle between all of their streaming services.
Oh, they have NFL Red Zone now too. Yes. Okay.
So they have everything.
And they're acquiring everything that they can basically with the NFL, because they have ESPN has Monday Night Football and maybe a few other games. Netflix acquired the rights to the Christmas games. So the NFL is crazy because it ties into movies kind of because all the entertainment is tied together. But NFL generates the most revenue of any sport in the world, as far as I mean, I know football, internet, like soccer. I mean, maybe because of the amount of teams, technically, but for a single league, NFL generates the most amount of money.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like a powerful force. And if Disney could get more of their hands on it, I'm sure they would love that.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I only know this because my Disney stock went up, and I inquired why, right? And it's because, yes, they acquired all these different properties, the biggest one being NFL. We will see how the sports industry changes as different rights for different specific games and specific teams go to different properties. And, like I own Christmas games for the Falcons. It's like that's your one thing. And then you can, like, if you own that one thing for 5 years, you can inflate that price as high as you want. And we will see how the capitalist market works on NFL, ESPN, everything in that realm. One of the biggest surprises of 2023 was the Barbenheimer movement. In the summer, we had talked about how we had actually worked with the Backstage Cinema to do an Oppenheimer review, which we just did the Prestige review for episode 143. Please check that out. But Nolan kind of blew it out of the water with Oppenheimer, and Barbie was the film I was referring to that offended the Chinese market with the background character or the background map. So two previously referenced films obviously still have influence to today in our regular vernacular and conversation. Dunesday. We had talked about this in the first movie news podcast, but it is kind of had a lot of changes lately. We are predicting, Ben, I'm predicting that one of them will move it. officially.
Oh,
we had
'cause-
talked about
yeah.
this a little bit in the last one. I am predicting that Marvel moves it into the next year, and that is my final bet. I am placing my coins in that area.
So wait, are Dune and Doomsday slated to come out the same day?
Same day.
Oh, and Dune Messiah is going to be insane.
It's going to be crazy.
Having read the book, I have no idea what they're going to do.
And Robert Pattinson's in
Yeah.
it. So
And I'm stoked. I would love if they did a Doomsday, but I agree that it would maybe not be as they're more. The reason Barbenheimer worked is because they technically would attract different audiences, but now they had crossover because they were so diametrically not opposed, but like opposite of each other.
But do you think
But Dune-
anti-energy could work with synergy? Because do you think that one nerd who might like Marvel and maybe not into Dune might go with his friends to see both just because?
That's true. I think it could work. I feel like executives never make the right decision.
The hard part is, do we have time to see 2 3-hour movies instead of 1 3-hour movie in an hour?
You gotta
and a half
start
film?
early.
Yeah.
Start real early.
6 a.m.
Probably a 12 p.m. showing of one, and then get dinner after because it's gonna be 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then go back 6 p.m. viewing of the other. I mean, yeah, you could do it.
So it's slated right now for next year at December 18th, 2026. That's a Friday, of course. I believe that the Avengers film will be pushed to the summer in May, like all other Avengers films have been.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate because that will mean that there is a full year between
Spider-Man and
and it would be, man, it would be like almost 2 years from now, It would be like 22 months, 21 months from now. If superhero fatigue hasn't come by then it will have come by sometime in the future. Will Dune make $1 billion? I think so. I think Dune will make over $1 billion, even though the last one made about a $700 million profit. So, the Dune trilogy may be one of Villeneuve's. How do you pronounce it? Villeneuve's best trilogies. I need to read the books before the next one comes out. Hopefully,
yes, you do.
Hopefully, I'll have some time.
I might have to read Children of Dune. I heard. So I was talking about this with my brother, or maybe with someone else. They might be merging Dune Messiah and Children of Dune together for. I don't know. Maybe that was just something that I heard. But if that's the case, I need to read Children of Dune.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
There'd have to be some time jumps.
Yeah.
From what I know.
Yeah, I think there would be. So maybe not. Maybe it's just Dune Messiah.
Will Dune
I just
replace?
know Dune Messiah is an insane book.
Will Dune be the next Lord of the Rings hype level trilogy?
I don't think there'll ever be another Lord of the Rings. I think the thing Dune had such a more of a cult like following for the books than I think Lord of the Rings. Like in my mind, Dune is as impactful of a book series as Lord of the Rings, but technically I think Lord of the Rings is more impactful because there's been more fantasy series made and sci-fi is so much more niche. I don't know. Cuz like to me reading I want to read that's what I want to read ideally is just sci-fi, but most people that's not the case.
Well, Ubik is a book that you have read, and you have reviewed it on the Last Resort
Yep.
Network, so please check that out.
And my brother and I are currently reading Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, the book that inspired Blade Runner by Philip K. Dick. So kind of in a Philip K. Dick obsession period right now. All his books are like 200 pages long, so they're quick reads, but there's a lot packed in there.
Here is Ben sounding like the Metropolitan Cast.
Yeah.
Please
and
check out.
If you're interested in AI at all, you got to go back and read like the old Isaac Asimov books and stuff because these authors knew exactly what things were going to be like. It's scary almost.
Scary how the predictions can be made, just like my prediction that Marvel will move Doomsday. So, tariffs.
So tariffs, huh?
They will be affecting a lot of different imports and exports in the U.S. We've already seen it affect the economy. We're hoping Jerome Powell had his Jackson Hole speech last Friday that affected the market, said that there'll probably be an interest rate cut next month in September, which is great. But will that affect movies? A lot of analysts are predicting that some movies will either have to lower their budgets, go to a little bit lower standard, or be halted or stop production because of tariffs like this. Could it be an overreaction? Yes, but I don't really have any other comment to say besides let's stay tuned and see if these tariffs affect movies.
Yeah, they definitely could, but we'll see.
Yeah. I hope that it doesn't go to another WGA strike level You know what I mean? Like that kind of put a hole in Hollywood for a little bit, maybe for the better, because it seems like films post that are a lot better than films pre that.
Maybe they like fired the screenwriters that weren't good.
Yeah, they're like, you're on strike. Okay, let's hire new people, and maybe the new talent has brought in some great success. What is like something that you are excited about in the future in the movie world, Ben?
What am I excited? I just feel like there's a lot of, first of all, PTA movie that's coming out.
Yeah, remind me.
One battle after another.
Is that Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yep.
I'm excited.
That's probably like the thing I'm most excited about.
Mm.
But I think like Darren Aronofsky's making a movie. Granted, doesn't look like it is going to be that good, but I'm excited that these directors are like still working, and that we got the Zach Kregers of the world that are like the up and comers who are like arriving now too. So I think in general, like there's, in spite of like a lot of the headlines being about these like tentpole, franchises, like there's still a lot of cool things going on underneath the surface.
Look under the surface. I think for me, Terrence Malick's The Way of the Wind will be the highlight of my future. We'll see if that's a good movie or not. Hopefully it's not blasphemous. I'm hoping that it is not, but we will find out, won't we? Just like the rest of films.
Terrence Episcopalian Malick.
So please put your bets on what will happen for Dunesday. Stay tuned for if any film will beat Lilo and Stitch this year. What a crazy statement to be saying. This has been Movie News number 2. Thank you, Tressel, for your unlimited support, and we hope to see you next time
on Movie News number 3.